Hey gang, I finally got back from Las Vegas, my first vacation of the winter 2020, and I can't wait to tell you about it. Now, I'd like to title this video, What Happens in Vegas Stays in Vegas Until It Doesn't. Now, it would have been fun to take my camera around and film some of the things that I did and some of the shows that I saw, but I was all by myself. I was all alone, and I didn't have anyone to help with the camera, and I just wanted to just absorb everything and just have a good time and not be waving the camera around in people's faces, and then just talk about it now. So here we go. If you've ever thought about going to Las Vegas but you never have, I'm going to give you some ideas of where you can have fun and where the food's good. Now, on my first day, of course, I flew on a Southwest Airlines package, Southwest Airlines vacations package, and I got 4 nights at New York, New York, with round-trip airfare from Milwaukee to Vegas and back, of course, for $581. So it's a pretty good deal, I thought. The flight was great. The flight attendants in Southwest are awesome. The things I like about Southwest is you get 2 bags for free and a carry-on and a purse. So you can just, you can have something that you can keep on your lap, and you got your carry-on that you stow above you, and you can have 2 great big bags with a total measurement of 62 inches, height, width, and depth of the bag. If you add all 3 of those measurements together, you have 62 inches. It's a pretty big bag. I actually traveled with 2 smaller bags than that. I had plenty of stuff. I had some guy clothes and some girl clothes. Plenty of stuff for 4 days and nights. So I stayed at New York, New York. Okay, first mistake was I was strapped for time, so I didn't schedule a show for day 1. I only scheduled dinner, and I was strapped for time getting out of the airport, and I took the shuttle bus for like $9.95, and it took like an hour to get to my hotel. An Uber would have probably been $10 or $11, and I would have got there in like 15 minutes. So now I'm strapped for time, and I had to call the restaurant and ask them if I could push my reservation back a little bit. They were accommodating, and I found out later there really weren't that many people there. It wasn't really a busy week. So, but I was a little bit worried. Anyway, I got ready, I went out, and my first stop was Emeril's Seafood in MGM Grand, and just an unbelievable experience. I love food, I love people, and I wanted to hit these restaurants that are kind of on my bucket list, and Emeril's is one of them. And I'm going to eat there again because the food was just great. Now all these restaurants I ate at were a little bit pricey. This is my really one big vacation a year thing, and I work hard for my money, and I know I'm going to spend more than I should for a bowl of gumbo and some red fish. But you're not going to get the flavor, you're not going to get the ambiance, you're not going to get the service for less money anywhere. I had the shrimp and rice and then andouille sausage gumbo for starters, and that was, or you might say andouille. And here in the Midwest we say andouille, but I guess on the East Coast they call it andouille sausage, which sounds a lot sexier, so I'm going with that one. It's a spicy Cajun sausage. Anyway, the gumbo was great, and I had that with a beer. I had that with a lager beer, and as per the waitress's recommendations. A heavy dish requires a heavier drink. The red fish was what I had for my entree, and of course it came with asparagus and green beans on the side, and it was just out of this world. If you like fish, you might expect a similar taste in a lot of different fishes. You get what I would call a fishy taste, of course. The redfish had none of that, It melted in my mouth. It had a consistency similar to a prime rib almost, but it was a little more delicate and flaky. Just gorgeous, unbelievable, just great. And I had a Pinot Noir with that one. And Emerald's Pinot Noir was very smooth. And then for dessert, I had banana cream pie. And the banana cream pie was out of this world. I've never seen a banana cream pie like this. The slice was 4 inches tall, and it was obviously wedge-shaped. And you could see the slices of bananas interspersed between the cream. And when you cut straight down on it with your fork, it just stayed, and you could slice little pieces off. It was very thick, very substantive cake. Not too rich. A lot of banana cream pies, it's hard to eat the whole piece after a meal. This one, gotta tell you, spoiler alert. I'm not a small girl, and I know how to eat, and I enjoyed every bit of that banana cream pie. It was great. Well, as it turns out, I had time to see a show. So I asked the waitress for her recommendation, and playing in the MGM Grand was David Copperfield. And I really wanted to see a Vegas magician, and I hadn't had the opportunity to do that yet. So I went ahead, I ordered the ticket, got good seats, went to the show, and fell asleep. Probably the only word I've been able to come up with, I haven't had a lot of time to script this video, the only word I could come up with to describe the show was lame. The monologue was old. It had been done so many times by David that he just ran through it with no comedic timing, no time for you to absorb what he was saying, and very tired. As I became throughout the show, very tired. The tricks were old. I'd say great for kids. And my tip, if you have to see David Copperfield, don't sit too close to him. Get the cheap seats way in the back so you can't see all of the stuff that goes into him making his magic. I got too close to the stage. He comes out in the audience, he does some tricks in the middle of the audience. I was way too close to those. I guess maybe I've just been around the world a little too much, and I can see things. He made a man disappear, only the man didn't disappear because he crawled in front of me away from where he was supposed to be disappearing from. It was very sad. But I was in for a penny, in for a pound, so I stayed for the whole show. He really impressed me at the end by making a 20-foot dinosaur appear out of a box. That was kind of cool. Pretty sure it wasn't real magic, though. Okay. Well, after that show that I sat through without any drinks, I had to have some drinks. So I went to the Caesar's Palace bar in the lobby of Caesar's Palace for drinks. Wonderful bartenders, wonderful conversation with everyone. Finished the night, went to bed early, went to bed at like midnight. Awesome, got a good night's sleep, got rid of the jet lag because I lost 2 hours going there. Day 2. I wake up, I go down, I got a $30 food credit per day while I'm there. So I go down and I get breakfast, and the breakfast was on the hotel because it was like $24. Unbelievable breakfast, giant breakfast burrito I had, filled me up, kept me going, and I ate breakfast at like 9 o'clock in the morning, kept me going until dinner, which was at 6 o'clock dinner. I walked around all over town. I went to the House of Blues and bought some souvenirs. House of Blues is in the Mandalay Bay Hotel Casino. I went over to the Hard Rock Casino, or the Hard Rock Cafe, I'm sorry. I bought some souvenirs over there for my kids. And that was a lot of walking around town. That was several blocks walking around town. And Vegas blocks are big blocks. Well, went back to the room, rested for a little while, propped my feet up, got some of the pressure off of those, got to tell you, good shoes, good walking shoes. I had these Skechers tennis shoes with this air gel thing going on inside. Kept me going all week. I ended up with some sore shins by the end of the week, but you know, overall, the shoes did really well. So that night was Wolfgang Puck's at the MGM Grand again. I went back to the MGM Grand to Wolfgang Puck's Bar and Grill. Now there are 3 Wolfgang Pucks around Vegas. I picked the wrong one. The appetizer was described as some kind of a potato, which turned out to be basically a potato chip with a interesting sauce that I ate because as I said, I hadn't eaten since 9 in the morning, and now it was 6 at night. And I ate it all, and I proceeded to order a Caesar salad with their margarita pizza. Now, from the past, I've heard about Wolfgang Puck's pizzas being really good. So I ordered the Caesar salad and a margarita pizza, and whereupon 5 minutes later, they both appeared in front of me at exactly the same time. And it was kind of like, how quickly can you finish this meal and get the hell out of our restaurant, Rachel? That was the attitude I got. Okay, drama queen? Maybe, I don't know. But I had to wolf that Caesar down in order to get to that pizza before it got cold, and I didn't. It was cold, and it was hard, and the crust tasted like cardboard. Wolfgang Puck's in the MGM Grand. Wolfgang Puck's Bar and Grill gets a 2-inch. No, it doesn't even get. It's a flat. It doesn't even get a heel. It's a flat. Emerald's gets a 6-inch heel. Wolfgang Puck's Bar and Grill in MGM Grand is a flat. Completely. They didn't even seem to respect me much. I did have their Pinot Noir, and their Pinot Noir was very bold, very tart, very tangy, very bold. I had Pinot Noirs at every meal. I had 4 nice meals. Well, I had 3 nice meals and 1 at Wolfgang Puck's Bar and Grill. So if no one's sure how I feel about them, just put it in the comments and I'll clear it up for you. But when I left Wolfgang Puck's Bar and Grill for the very first and last time, because I will never be back, I went to a show that everyone who goes to Vegas and can handle a little profanity and an extreme amount of non-political correctness should see. It is called Absinthe, and it is the cat's pajamas. It is the bee's knees. It's right outside of Caesar's Palace in a tent, in between Caesar's Palace and Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. There's a tent out there, and you go in there and it's plenty warm. And they have the show, which has acrobatics and Cirque du Soleil type stuff, comedy that will have you in stitches for an hour and a half. They pick on everyone. They started out picking on gay people, and then they went to lesbian people, and then they went to Republicans. And I was sitting in the 3rd row wondering, and the guy was looking at me, and I was wondering, okay, I'm ready for it. Let's go. Bring it. I'm ready. I get it now. I see what we're going to do here. Let's go. But they didn't pick on me. So I guess I'm still a taboo out there for jokes. But anyway, I was ready. I was going to be a good sport. I just kept saying to myself over and over again, just be a good sport, just be a good sport. He's going to pick on the hair. He's going to pick on the voice. He's going to do something. It was crass. It was crude. It was raunchy. The performers, the acrobatics and the contortionists and whatnot, and the dancers were great, and they're right there, right in front of you. You could touch them. But you know, the comedy is raunchy, very raunchy. I'm not going to spoil it for you. If you're into that, if you think you might be into that kind of thing, you got to see it. After the show, I went back to Caesar's Bar because the bartenders were so friendly, so nice. And one of them subscribed to my channel, so I hope she gets to see this. I'm not going to name names. I can't name names. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas until it doesn't. But I went back to the Caesar's Bar for really good conversation with whoever, and finished the night. Went back to my room. Got in bed around 1 a.m. It was a great time. Day 3. More shopping, because this girl loves to shop. had to go and get tickets for a show at the Planet Hollywood Miracle Mile Shop's V Theater, because they don't have e-tickets, so you have to go and pick up your tickets in person before the show. So I went down there and wasted, that wastes time. So if you're gonna do shows, get shows that have e-tickets. Unless you just like blowing an hour every day picking up your tickets. They give you a window between like noon and an hour before the show to get your tickets. But I did some shopping while I was there. I went to Mac. I met the wonderful girls at Mac, and we talked about stuff. I showed them some of my video work and gave them some cards, and we had a good time there. Went back to the room, hung out, relaxed. For dinner, I went to Rayo's Italian restaurant in Caesar's Palace. So I stopped at the bar for a drink first, saw my bartender friends again, and then went to Rayo's, where I had probably the best Italian dinner I've ever had. The service was impeccable. The respect that they give you is out of this world. You're paying for it, probably a lot of it, but it was pricey. I had a very smooth Pinot Noir, and they gave me the name of the Pinot Noir so I can find it in a store somewhere. And I had a caprese salad. I had penne with vodka sauce, and I had a meatball, because I really wanted to get their red sauce and their meat sauce, because they have really good meat sauce. They sell it all over the world in stores. There's only a couple of restaurants, and Rayo's is the best, and I will return. I would give this restaurant a 6-inch heel. I had tiramisu and coffee for dessert, which is one of my all-time Italian favorite desserts. Tiramisu and black coffee. And they just make you feel so special when you're there. It was really good. They got a nice tip. The show I saw that night was called Zombie Burlesque, and it was at the V Theater at the Miracle Mile Shops. And it's basically about how we got zombies from the nuclear testing for World War II, and that created a bunch of zombies, and they went to war with the humans, and they came upon a peace agreement where the humans would supply them with some kind of food, and they would become hospitality people. And so they were putting on this burlesque show for us. And I'm not going to spoil these shows for you. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of surprises in these shows. Once again, I will say this. The host of the show did a monologue about how wonderful Vegas is and how inclusive they are and how great it is to be in Vegas, where you can be who you want to be and you can live your truth. And he's looking at me and winking at me, and no, I'm not making this up, and this is just not being egotistical. It was just so cool. I felt like he was talking to me. And met a wonderful couple there. They got called up to do a game with the host on stage, and I took some pictures of them while they were up there. And I said, hey, I can text these pictures to you. And they thought that was just the coolest thing. And we ended up going over to the Cosmopolitan Hotel and having a drink together. It was really nice. Just wonderful. Everybody's out there having a good time. Even if they're out there for work, when you run into them at the bar afterwards or at a show, they're relaxing, they're having a good time, and everybody's there, and they're also friendly. It was just wonderful, just wonderful time. That's what I love about Vegas, because I love people, and I love being entertained. So we finished up at Cosmo, and you know where I ended up? Guess what? I'll give you 3 guesses where I ended up. I went back to Caesar's. I met a really nice man, and we talked for like 2.5 hours, and he found a sex worker and left me. And that's just how it goes in Vegas, because he knew he wasn't going to get anywhere with me, so he found somebody else. Day 4. I was crying myself to sleep that night. No, kidding. Day 4. Shopping again. Good shoes, guys. Make sure you wear good shoes if you're going to walk around Vegas. I went to see the Atomic Saloon show after my crazy excellent dinner at Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. Not Hell's Kitchen Bar and Grill. Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen, freestanding restaurant outside of Caesars. I had a red quinoa salad, an aged New York strip steak, and a salted caramel apple for dessert. Now, it's not really an apple. It's a cinnamon apple sponge cake with whipped cream and salted caramel drizzled over the top of it. And I remember taking a picture of it when it came to the table, and then another picture when I was done. And I texted them back to my wife, and they were about 2 minutes apart. And she texted back, "Did you suck that one down?" And I just couldn't believe how delicious it was, and not too rich. After a steak, it wasn't too filling, it wasn't too rich. It was great. It was awesome. I wish I could go back right now. It's almost worth the plane fare to go back right now. So then I went to Atomic Saloon. Oh, I had Gordon Ramsay's Pinot Noir as well. And it was very smooth, very good. I went to Atomic Saloon, which is a new show that just opened last September of 2019. Over at the Venetian in the mall. There's a big shopping mall inside the Venetian casino hotel, and it's in there, and it's like a cowboy thing, and they have a fully stocked bar with all kinds of beers, like all kinds of craft beers. I wasn't drinking beer that night. I sat next to the stage, so close if I would have stuck my hand out, they could have stepped on my hand. And it was a really cool show. It's a variety. It's a burlesque. It's a cowboy burlesque show. There's some acrobatics and some dancing and singing, and they tell a story. And I will not spoil it for you at all. I would say it was worth the money. You may not want to get tickets next to the stage, but other tickets are going to cost less. And I would say go and see it. It's very entertaining. The performers are great. The guy that warmed up the audience was jumping around before the show, and he was messing with me a little bit, and it was just fun. Everybody's got a sense of humor, and everybody's there. Now, I was basically on the spotlight like I am right now, sitting next to the stage under the spotlight. So after the show, I went to the restroom, and when I came out of the restroom, I got one of the greatest compliments that I've ever had. Now, of course, I can't say his name, their name, but someone came up to me and asked me, "Are you Rachel?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And they said, "Rachel Rollins?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And they said, "I watch your videos. It's so nice to meet you." And I think I grew another foot. My head swelled 3 or 4 sizes. And I told them how wonderful it was that they introduced themselves and how cool it was. And I met their wife and their spouse, if you will, and it was just a wonderful feeling. I've been recognized in Vegas. I'm becoming famous. I mean, I could go with that, but this head could just take that and just go all over the place with it. But it was just so cool to get that recognition. It was awesome, and I wish I could have spent some more time with them. But everybody's got things to do, so they were off, and I ended up back at. Let me see, where did I go from there? Let me think now. Oh yeah, I went back to Caesar, where I met another interesting individual. And I gave that person my business card, and I said, "You got to send me an email," because they said they spend a lot of time in Vegas for business. And I said, "You got to send me an email because I could see us hanging out together the next time I come around, if we could set it up with your business schedule." A really cool person, and I had to leave them early because I had to get up and make sure I was out of my room by 11 o'clock the next day. And, my flight didn't leave until 7:30 that night, which really stank. So I had a whole day to kill, and I didn't really plan anything. Of course, there's nothing much for a girl like me to do during the day that's any fun. And I wasn't going to drink. So I did some shopping. I wandered around, and ended up back at the airport. And we had really bad weather coming back, so we had to fly around Milwaukee for a half hour, waiting for them to clear off the runway. And then I had to drive 2.5 hours to get home in the snowstorm, but it was worth it. I had a great time. And my next venture will be first event in Boston on January 29th through February 2nd. So if anybody's from Boston and they want to hang out or they want to see me, you know, like the people that introduce themselves at Atomic Saloon, you know, anytime you see me, if you recognize me, come up and say hi. I love it. It's cool. If you want to yell at me, come up and yell at me. I can take that too. So I'm giving Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen, 6-inch heel. Emerald's a 6-inch heel. Rayo's Italian Restaurant, a 6-inch heel. Wolfgang Puck's MGM Bar and Grill, flat. Atomic Saloon, 5-inch heel. Zombie Burlesque, 6-inch heel. Absinthe. I gotta add Absinthe. I'm gonna give it 2 6-inch heels. I would actually see that show again. So there's my Vegas vacation 2020. And I just want you guys to know that Vegas is a super trans-friendly town. Anybody that wants to go there and you want to be a girl, go there and be a girl. If you're a girl and you want to go there and be a guy, go there and be a guy. Just bring your sense of humor. Don't wear your heart on your sleeve. And it is, in my opinion, it is. I vacationed as a girl in a lot of different towns. That's my town. Love and peace to all, especially everyone in Las Vegas, Nevada.